The clock perched on the mantel seemed to pound louder than usual, each tick hammering against my temples. I sat on the couch, eyes fixed on the front door, its chipped green paint mocking me with its stillness. My phone lay face down on the coffee table, silent for 22 hours and 17 minutes since Ila's last message. Be home soon. No calls. No follow-ups. No explanations. Just those 3 words etched into my mind like a scar. My coffee, cold and untouched, rested in a chipped mug beside a half-eaten bagel. The cream cheese had hardened, much like my tangled, heavy thoughts. The faint scent of her lavender shampoo lingered in the apartment, like a ghost refusing to leave. I had spent the entire night pacing, my socks thinning as they rubbed against the hardwood floor. Where was she? Ila, with her quick laugh and eyes that could unravel me in an instant, had simply disappeared. No fight. No warning. Just gone. My mind ran through endless scenarios: an accident, a robbery, sudden illness. But darker thoughts slithered through my defenses, whispering the worst. What if she wasn't hurt? What if she'd chosen to vanish? I checked my phone again. Nothing. Her friends hadn't heard from her either. Their messages to me were tinged with concern. Kurt. Haven't seen her since yesterday morning. Claire. She seemed fine. Fine. The word echoed hollowly in my head. Leah had left for work at 7 a.m., following her usual routine, yet her office said she'd called in sick. Sick? Another lie, small but sharp, like a splinter lodged under my skin. At 9:14 a.m., the key rattled in the lock. My heart jolted, caught between relief and dread crashing together like a storm. The door swung open, and there she stood, Leah, alive, unharmed. Her auburn hair was tangled, her blouse wrinkled, but her eyes, usually warm like honey, were guarded, flicking away from mine. Hey, she said softly, her voice thin, as if testing the space between us. Where were you? I asked, my words sharper than intended, raw from sleepless hours. I rose, hands trembling, desperate to pull her close, but frozen by the distance in her stance. She dropped her purse on the counter. The clatter echoed loudly in the quiet room. I got caught up, she murmured, fingers nervously twisting the hem of her sleeve, a nervous habit I hadn't seen in years. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to worry you. I stepped closer, the floor creaking beneath me. You didn't call, Leah. You didn't answer. I thought you were dead. My voice cracked, betraying my fear. Her lips parted, but no words came. Her gaze shifted to the window, where morning light filtered through the blinds. I'm fine, she said finally, but the word felt empty, a promise she didn't believe herself. Fine. I laughed bitterly. You called in sick. You didn't tell me. You disappeared for a whole day, and now you act like it's nothing. My chest tightened as anger simmered beneath the hurt. Where were you, Leah? Really? She flinched, curling her shoulders inward. I needed space, okay? I just needed to think. Her voice wavered, but there was something else. Guilt, maybe, or defiance. She turned toward the kitchen, busying herself with a glass of water, her back turned like a barrier. Space. I followed, my voice rising despite myself. We've been together 5 years. You don't just vanish for space. Tell me the truth. My heart pounded in my ears, each beat a question I dreaded the answer to. She set the glass down hard, water sloshing over the rim. It's not what you think, she said quickly, almost pleading. I was with a friend. We talked, lost track of time. That's all. A friend. The word left a bitter taste in my mouth. Which friend, Leah? Claire didn't know. Jess didn't know. Who was it? My hands clenched, nails digging into my palms. I wanted to believe her, to hold on to the version of us where trust was unbreakable. But her eyes refused to meet mine, and the silence stretched taut, like a fragile wire about to snap. Does it matter? She whispered, barely audible. Yes, it matters, I said, voice hoarse. Because you're lying to me. The room felt suffocating, the walls closing in, heavy with all the things left unsaid. I noticed her blouse again, Wrinkled, yes, but also missing a button, as if she'd thrown it on in a rush. A faint scent clung to her. Not lavender, but something sharper, like cedarwood. Not hers. Not mine. Her face went pale, lips trembling. "I didn't want this to happen," she said softly. The words hit me like a punch. It was a mistake. A stupid, awful mistake. My stomach twisted, the world shifting beneath me. I grabbed the counter to steady myself. "A mistake," I echoed, voice hollow. "What kind of mistake, Leia?" Tears welled in her eyes, but she held my gaze this time. "I was with someone," she admitted, voice breaking. "It wasn't planned. It just happened." Her confession hung between us, jagged and heavy, tearing apart the fragile threads of the life we'd built. I wanted to scream, to demand names, reasons, explanations, but my body felt numb. The image of her with another person, someone who wasn't me, stuck in my mind. "Who?" I barely whispered. "Does it matter?" she replied, swallowing hard. "It was Mark from work. We were talking, and I don't know how it happened." "I'm so sorry, Ben." Mark, her coworker with the easy smile from late-night projects. I'd met him once, shook his hand, laughed at his jokes. Now his name felt like a knife twisting in my chest. "You slept with him," I said flatly. "That's not a question." Her silence spoke the truth, hands trembling as she wiped her eyes. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said, stepping toward me. I recoiled, the space between us now a chasm. "It was just one time," she whispered. "I swear it won't happen again." "One time," I repeated, my laughter brittle and broken. "You disappeared, Leia. You lied. You left me sitting here, thinking you were dead, while you were with him." I couldn't finish. The words caught in my throat. My eyes burned, but I refused to cry. "Not yet." "I love you," she said, voice small and pleading. "I still want us." I looked at her, really looked, and saw a stranger. The woman I'd imagined spending my life with, having kids, building a future with, was gone. Replaced by someone who could betray me and call it a mistake. The clock kept ticking, indifferent, as everything we'd built crumbled around us. "Then why?" I asked, voice steady but cold. "Do I feel like I'm the one who's disappeared?" She had no answer. And in that silence, I realized she had come back, but I was no longer hers.